भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यसेम देवहितैर्यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति न बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव भयुनानि विद्वान् युजोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेन भो इस्तां ते नम उक्तिं विधेम ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम आब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसी जायताम् आराष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूरैषज्योतिव्याधि महारथो जायताम् दोग्ध्रीं धेनुर्वोढान् नड्वान् आसु सप्तिः पुरन्धित्योषा जिष्णोरतेष्ठाः सभेयो युव अस्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पर्जन्यो न वर्षतु फलवत्यो न वोषधयः पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो न कल्पेताम् ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुः स्तोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वो ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मामा ब्रह्म निराकुर्यात् मामा ब्रह्म निराकुर्यात् अनिराकरणम् अस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति शांति शांतिः हरि ओम नमस्ते
Thank you, Sri Ramachandra. Suklam Bradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye Agajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharnisam Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe Krishnam Kamalapatraksham Punyasravana Kirtanam Vasudevam Jagadjonim Naumi Narayanam Harim Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sankaram Sankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutam Vande Bhagavantam Punah Punaha Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samsthita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Swastya Rupena Samsthita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Jaya Sabdena Bhushita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jaya Bhutati Harini Artiharini Jaya Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Yeah, we have come to a most beautiful time when we have an opportunity in our Veda Adhyayana Kendra classes to think of Durga Parameswari, who is the executive head, who is constantly with the people, for the people, due to prayers by the people, And at the Anugna of Parashakti, Lalita Parameswari herself, rather not Anugna, she herself takes an executive forum, Durga, and she will be very much active and energetic, and then looking after her by herself, and also looking after the people and the world. So there is a plenitude of work for this Samavaru Durgamma. And moreover, we know so many Grama Devatas. In Durga Sahasranamam, you find the compliment to Durga that whatever Grama Devatas are there in India, in Bharat or everywhere, all the Grama Devatas are the administrative, representative, and forces that have been. That's why any puja to the Grama Devata will definitely please Durga Parameswari, and definitely we will have the different. And that's why we observe in Bangalore, the Grama Devata is Annamma. There is the Annamma temple in the Majestic, down the Mysore Bank circle, and so many pujas every day is being done through Annamma. Not only that, to several layouts, she has been invited and done puja for 1 or 2, 3 days, and again installed back. So thereby, that kind of puja is only to the Durga Parameswari. And who is that Durga? What is her achievement, and why we think of her anytime we come to the confronting the crisis? Because human life is never runs easy, because we have intelligence. Intelligence on one hand will help the persons to be safe. On the other hand, the same intelligence will be a detrimental drain to people. That's why it's called as intelligence positive and intelligence perverted. So if the intelligence is perverted, well, people will be in the jail. If the intelligence is appropriately well managed, then that's called what we call as a buddhi. Buddhi channagidre, definitely we will make prosperity to us and to everybody. That's why we make a prayer. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhirupena Samsthita Namastasyai Namastasyai Namo Namaha. So that Buddhi is the only one divine grace which is installed in all human beings and on all beings, that they are able to manage their lifestyles, life programs ably in according to their manasu or chittam and indriyas, etc. All these things will help the individual to go up. That's why Sarvasya Buddhi Rupena Sthitaya Parameswari Namastasyai Namastasyai. And a Buddhi ki Chaitanya also is important. So Yadevi Chaitana Ityabhidiyate Sarvabhuteshu Namastasyai Namastasyai Namo Namaha. So Ishtella ನೋಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ we have completed understanding of the important preambles, because there are so many things before we start actually Durga Saptasati, but I think we don't want to. This all depends upon the nature, I mean time schedule and upadeshas that respective gurus will do, because gurus also variant in giving upadesham or in introducing the Durga Saptasati people. But I am just following one pattern which has been given to me by my a guru in Bala Tripura Sundari temple, Bala's, and that gentleman Balagangadhar Shastri or something like that. So I forgot him long years back. That opportunity I have had, and I'm following it even now, the same thing. So thereby we understand Durga Saptasati is a very powerful practical manual to all people, because in this Durga Saptasati there are prayers in each charitam. In Prathama Charitam, Kali prayer. Dvitiya Charitam, Mahalakshmi prayer. In Tritiya Charitam, Mahasaraswati. So Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. And all these three forces or Devis are there in Mahasaraswati clubbed in. Therefore, Mahasaraswati Dhyanam is ultimately one. Now, there is a general prayer for Ammavaru because Durga Parameswari is never alone, but she has her own a number of forces or sainyam emanated from her only, and they are, and when once the activity is over, she will get again all of them withdrawn into her. So that's why we are given the thought that the bahutvam ekatvam. In the Vishnu Sahasranama also, our Bhishmacharya tells us ekaha anekaha, anekaha ekaha, and stavaha. So kaha prajapati. So eko naika stavah kah kim tat padamutta kim tat padamuttamam, and lokanatho lokabandhur say loka comes up to. So to say that we are just trying to get into the portals of Durga Amma, into the platform of Durga Parameswari, in her form as a Mahakali and Yoganidra Devi, who enveloped the entire Chetanam or Chaitanyam of Mahavishnu, sent him to a deep sleep. When Brahmadeva was in a melting trouble because of the Madhukaita Barakshasas who wanted to dethrone him, eat him, kill him, and all that. So that was the maximum crisis. At that time, he cannot appeal to his father. His father, the creator of these Madhukaitavas, was asleep. That's why we have got that story to run to about 104 slokas or so. And here you understand that even one sentence also is a formula, it's a sloka. So that's why adding all the sentences also, Devi Vacha, Rishiri Vacha, like that we have got these Uvacha Sabdas. So their statements are also becoming a mantra. So Rishirivacha Swaha, Rishirivacha Namaha. So ಈ ತರಹ ಈ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಸಪ್ತಸತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ 700 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, and there are not many saptasatis in our literature, and it is drawn out from Markandeya Purana. And we have another recent one which we are published from our Veda Adhyayana Kendra, that is called Bhagavata Saptasati, which our Guru Medavaram Subramanya Shastri has compiled all that, and 700 slokas from Bhagavata Saptasati. He has just grafted all of them and given a continuous story and stretch and episodes of the Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam contains 18,000 slokas, but it is really difficult for people to cover 18,000 slokas, and therefore Bhagavata Parayanam they keep for 7 days. And in fact, it happened like that because in 7 days were the time given for the Parikshit Maharaja, before which he should do whatever he should do, like that. Now, not dilating much on the Saptasati literature, we have famous Durga Saptasati and Bhagavata Saptasati. We don't have Ramayana Saptasati at all. Ramayana Sataslokis are people written, but 100 slokas from Ramayana they pick up. But Durga, the Markandeya Purana, because Markandeya Maharshi is a staunch devotee of Amma and also Ayya, Shiva and Parvati. So thereby we have the Maharshi Pujana, Maharshi Anugraha also when we take to the Durga Saptasati. I'm just reading the Dhyanam in general. How is Darshi? विद्युद्दामसमप्रभां मृगपतिस्कन्धस्थितां भीषणां कन्याभिः करवालखेटविलसद्हस्ताभिरासेविताम् हस्तैश्चक्रगदासिखेटविशिखां चापं गुणं तर्जनीं बिभ्राणामनलात्मिकां Shashidharam Durgam Trinetram Bhaje. Now I am reading the first chapter, Dhyana Slokam, because we have already started the first chapter and made some progress. And from that point, we further proceed. I just try to link up where from we are going to start so that the new people who have joined directly are likely to know they will have a continuation of that. Now I am reading the Prathama Charitam, Durga Saptasati, Prathama Adhyayam, and Viniyoga is for getting the anugraha of Mahakali Devata, and also in order to make Mahakali completely happy, pleased, appeased, that she will be able to help us, that the Loka Kalyanam, at the same time Atma Kalyanam, both will take place. So when you say Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu means we have to activate that particular highest energy, which can definitely resist and destroy or remove the small energies which will be disturbing agents for the peace of the world. Om Khadgam Chakragadeshu Chapaparigan Shulam Bhusundim Siraha Sinkham Sandadadim Karaistrinayanam Sarvanga Bhushavrutam Neelasmadjutim Asya Pada Dasakam Seve Mahakaligam Yamastaut Swapite Harau Kamalajo Hantum Madhum Kaitabham. So Kamalaja, Hari, so Hari has to help his the Brahmadeva, that Madhukaitava Rakshasas, they are thorns to the work and prosperity of Brahmadeva, sitting on a lotus, therefore he is called as a Kamalaja, born in the Kamala. Kamala, you sister. So Ka is water, Ma is the dirt, La is to grow. So Kamala means that which grows only in the dirty water. That is what Samsara Panka. Actually, lotuses are never born in clean, crystal clear water. And so the more and more dirty is the water down, then the lotuses will be growing up very well. That's why Samsara Panka Nirmagna Samudharana Pandita or Samsararnava Tarakaha or like that we have got Sutara Sitara Se Namaha. E Tarasa, a Tarana, and Rama Taraka Mantram, all these Tarakas are there. Tarakas means that they will try to make you cross over the difficulties. And they are like the ship, the Taraka, Mahima, they are all like the ship in the waters. Water is a symbol for difficulty, and ship is a symbol for protection and Rakshana and to cross over that. So, ಈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವ has praised Kalika Mahakali, who has got a very dark face, who has got 10 feet, and who has got the Neelasmadjutim, and she has got 3 eyes. And the entire her body is decorated with all kinds of abharanas and all that. Sarvanga Bhushavrutam. The contrast is interesting. Even Ravanasura is something like the Kali Swarupam. So when Ravana was going to meet Sita in Sundarakanda of Ramayana by Valmiki, Valmiki Maharshi says that he decked himself with large number of abharanas and scents, and when Veda Ghoshas were on, in the night he has about 100 ladies, very beautiful, carrying the kagadas or the or the lamps, oil lamps to show the pathway and so on. So with such a big paraphernalia and retinue, Ravanasura wanted to go to Sita Devi and said, at that time, Maharshi describes him that even when people are decorated very well, but the fierce people cannot cut a gracious face or looks. It is difficult. Face is index of man, and therefore Valmiki says, Smasana Chaityas Prabha Bhushitopa Bhayankaraha ಅಂತ. ಇವನು ಹೆಂಗಿದಾನಂದ್ರೆ ಮಶಾಣದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಗಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಯುಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಲಂಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಈ ಮಶಾಣದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಗಿಡ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಭಯಂಕರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Nobody can sleep underneath the tree in the graveyard. That is the idea. So Chaityam andre Susana Chaitya. So here she is also so terrific, but still as a woman she has all bhabharanas and with that, and she has got also weapons in her hand: Khadga, Chakra, Gada, Ishu, and Chapa, Pariga, Shulam, Bhusundi, and and also the Shiromala. All those things she has got. So we covered in the first chapter around 5 slokas or so. But anyway, I give you the summary. Don't read for you. So there is a Savarni, who is the son of Surya, Tanaya, and who is called as the Manu, the Ashtama Manu, and his story comes into picture. And also he became Savarni Tanayoho Rave and Swarochishayantare Purvam Chitravamsa Samudbhavaha Suratho Nama Raja Bhut Samaste Siddhi Mandale. So the origin begins from that Manu, and there was a king by name Suratha, Gnapkatkubeku, and he was the king of the entire land. And Chaitra Vamsadada Uddhava Agidane, and he, as he was ruling the land very well, because all people were happy. So it was a very good administration and protection, and all people were happy. And moreover, that king was looking after his people like his own children. Putra Nivaurasan Samyak Prajaha. He was taking care of the people as his own children, and therefore when the king is so good, there will be number of enemies also, because anybody who is in the position, there will be 100 people to dethrone him from the position, thinking that they are all very efficient, more efficient than one who is admitted or who is there as a ruler or as the prime person in the administration. This is what situation right from the times immemorial. And even this Maharaja Suratha also faced that kind of crisis, that he had a large number of enemies also. Tasya taihi abhavad yuddham. Then because of their Shatrus, they want to expand, they want to get rid of them. So one more point was, he doesn't hate people, but people are there who hate and who try to get defense. It is something like a part of defense. When Ravana's minister Prahasta questioned, why did you kill so many Rakshasas? Why did you, Hanuman was asked, why did you destroy the Vanam or all these things? So like that, then he said, you Rakshasas came, I had to defend myself, therefore I had to fight. And that was simple answer like that. So defending is important, however religious one are like. So now we shall talk about the 6th stanza and further. Tasya taihi abhavad yuddham. Please repeat. Anybody? Tasya
Tasya
taihi abhavad.
taira bhavadyuddham Tasya taira bhavadyuddha
Ati prabala dandinaha
ati prabhala dandinaha ati prabhala dandinaha
न्यूनैरपि न्यूनरपि सह सत्तैः युद्धे कोलाविध्वंसिभिर्चितः
न्यूनैरपि स तैर्युद्धे पोला विद्वंसिभिर्जितः न्यूनैरपि स तैर्युद्धे कोला विद्वंसिभिर्जितः
ततः स्वपुरमायातो
ततः स्वपुरमायातो ततः स्वपुरमायातो
निजदेशाधिपो भवतु
निज देशाधिपो अभवत् निज देशाधिपो अभवत्
आक्रान्तः स महाभागः
आक्रान्तः सः आक्रान्त सः महाभागः आक्रान्तः सः महाभागः
तैः तदा प्रबलारिभिः
तैस्तथा प्रबलारिभिः तैस्तथा प्रबलारिभिः.
Others who are mute, please repeat yourself, and it's a Parayanam portion also. You will get some punyam. Amachaihi balibhihi dushtaihi
आमार्तैर्बलिदृष्टैः आमार्तैर्बलिभिर्दृष्टैः
durbalasya duratmabhihi
दुर्बलस्य दुरात्मभिः दुर्बलस्य दुरात्मभिः
kosho balam chapahrutam
कोशो बलं चापहृतं कोशो बलं चापहृतम्
trapi swapure tataha
तत्रापि स्वपुरे ततः तत्रापि स्वपुरे ततः
tato mrugayava vyachena
ततो मृगया या व्याजेन ततो मृगया व्याजेन
hrutaswamyah sabhupatihi
कृतस्वाम्यः स भूपतिः कृतस्वाम्यः स भूपतिः
ekaki hayamaruhya
एकाकी अयमारुह्य एकाकी अयमारुह्य
जगामगहनं वनं
जगामगहनं वनं जगामगहनं वनं
स तत्राश्रममद्राक्षीतो
तत्राश्रममद्राक्ष सतत्राश्रममद्राक्षेत्
द्विजवर्यस्य मेधसः
द्विजवर्यस्य मेधसः द्विजवर्यस्य मेधसः
शान्तस्वापदाकीर्णम्
प्रशान्तस्वापदाकीर्णम् प्रशान्तस्वापदाकीर्णम्
मुनिशिष्योपशोभितम्
मुनिशिष्योपशोभितम् मुनिशिष्योपशोभितम्.
So this is what happened. There were so many enemies, but they were not as strong as the king. But their connivances were so strong that he got defeated by those enemies, and so in the war, and therefore, but being defeated in the war by those enemies, he came back to his own capital city, that king Suratha, and he became the ruler of his own country or his own state. But though he came back and continued, the enemies who have won the war, they forced themselves and they reached his state and then tried to occupy the land or the state or the Rajyam ruled by him. On the other hand, The ministers also, they also deceived the king, and they looted the Koshagaram and made the Sainyam in their favor, and therefore he was having a crisis beyond controls. He was not able to stand all that in the capital in his own place. So what he did was, in the sloka number 9, he became with the pretext of going for a hunting. Mrugaya vyajena. Mrugaya means hunting. Every king cannot remain in the state or on the throne continuously. It is one of the conditions of the king. ರಾಜನಿಗೆ ಧರ್ಮ ಏನಂದರೆ 15-20 ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಅರಣ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದೋಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಜಿಮ್ಸು, ವ್ಯಾಯಾಮ ಶಾಲಾ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ಫಾರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ into a forest. So there things will happen. In fact, even in the Dushyanta Maharaja or any Maharaja, they have to visit the forest. And if at all they were to find some kind of ashrama, Rishi ashrama, it is their duty to visit the Rishi or ashramas and inquire about that. That's what is the Indian kings had culture with them. So, and moreover, if he is going away from leaving the city, people will think that he is a coward and he is not able to stand there because he is defeated. Not that kind of excuse people should think about. So he says, I am going for hunting. Mrugaya Vyaja means Karanam, excuse. So telling that I am going to hunting, and why he did like that? Hrita Swamya. Swamya means self-independence. He lost his independence. He cannot do anything by himself. Everywhere the enemies are sitting before him and making him to listen to their orders and their things. And that is really something who loses the individuality. See, to lose individuality is a great sin, is a great horror, is a great crime. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ನೀವು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡದೇ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಜಾರಾಗತ್ತೋ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪರಿಚಯ ಇದೆ. In the house, if there are 10 people, once upon a time, people used to abide the words and orders or instructions by the head of the family. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 10 mouths will be there for one idea. ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಮಹಾರಾಜ, when he lost his independence, that Bhupati, he became all alone. He mounted a horse and then he went inside a deep forest. Gahanam Vanam Jagama. ಈ ಸುರಥ ಮಹಾರಾಜ ವೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಎವ್ರಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, ಎವ್ರಿ ವರ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, ವೇರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಬೈ ರಿಮೆಂಬರಿಂಗ್, ಬೈ ಅಟ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಕ್ವೈರಿಂಗ್ ಪುಣ್ಯಂ. ದುರ್ಗಾ ಸಪ್ತಸತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ತುಂಬ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫಲಂ. ಸೊ it is just very, very important that we should not skipping and nothing like that. Then in 10th sloka, when he went to the Gahanam Vanam, in that ashrama, Tatra ashramam adrakshit, he found a ashrama, a hermitage built by a great Brahmin, a highly intelligent Brahmin, who renounced everything and built an ashrama in the deep forest. Ashramas are there in the forest, not in cities, unlike Haridwar. If you go to Haridwar, the name tells you that there are much temples, many temples, but in Haridwar you got all ashramas. Inside them there are temples and all that. But that is Haridwar. But in this forest, that Brahmin Who was he? We don't know. That he's a Dujavarya. He's a Brahmin supreme and highly Medhasaha, Medhasakti udavaru. Avanu on the ashrama itkondiದ್ರೆ. And how was the ashrama of the Muni? Prashanta Swapada Akirnam. So the entire hermitage was so calm, quiet, and pleasant and inspiring. There is a lot of Shanti in the temple, in the ashrama. So it is not Prashant, it's not simply Shanta, it is Prashanta. So Praseshena Shantam Prashantam. That is the Shanti that is there, the calmness, the quietude, everything that is what that we can want for a good meditation and tapas. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಶಾಂತವಾದ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ತಪಸ್ಸು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಕೋಲಾಹಲ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಏನು ಶಬ್ದ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ as far as possible, one has to create such peaceful atmosphere. We know even today some great people, in their houses, they will have a separate room for or accommodation for Devata, Devas or Gruhas, and also meditation room. And recently we had one wonderful Nalgirkar Anta, I had not mentioned, a great Ayurveda doctor who organized a workshop in our Adhyayana Kendra Ayurveda workshop, right from morning till evening. And some 3-4 doctors came, including a lady doctor came. They stayed in our Kendra, 206 12th class, and more than 50 villagers around. People came and they all got the advice and medicines. And for them in the shop that there, they got percentage 5 rebate also, free medicines also. So ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತವಾಗಿರುವ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ there are not only that Muni that alone, but he was having a large number of Sishyas. So Muni Sishya Upasobhitam Prashanta Prashantascha Swapada Kiranam. So even the animals are there, they are very much calm and quiet. For example, a deer, an ashrama mruga, ಆಶ್ರಮ ಜಂತವಹ, ಆಶ್ರಮ ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಅವುಗಳ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಶಾಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮದ ಕಿರಣಂ ಮುನಿಶಿಷ್ಯೋಪಸೇವಿತಂ. In busy city like Mysore, we have Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji ashramam, where you have got also a occasion for the parrots, besides other beautiful garden and temple of Venkatramana and all that. So in the bush of city, that kind of vatavaranam is being created. It's very nice. But if you go deep into forest, we don't know how many ashramas are there. And in there are some Rishi Muni people who go to learn knowledge, to beget knowledge from that Brahmana Guru, Medhavi, in the ashram. Then what did he do? Repeat. Tasthau kinchit sakalam cha munina tena satkrutaha. Repeat.
तस्थौ कंचित कालं च तत्सौ कंचित कालं च
Munina tena satkrutaha.
मुनिना तेन सत्कृतः मुनिना तेन सत्कृतः
Itaschetascha vicharam.
इतश्चेतश्च विचरम् इतश्चेतश्च विचरम्
Asmin munivara ashrame.
तस्मिन् मुनिवराश्रमे
Sochintayat tada tatra.
सोचिन्तयत् तथा तत्र सो अचिन्तयत् तथा यत्तत्र
Mamatva krishtamaanasaha.
ममत्वा कृष्णमानसः ममत्वा कृष्णमानसः
Matpurvaihi palitam purvam.
मत्पूर्वैः पालितं पूर्वं मत्पूर्वैर्पालितं पूर्वं
मया हीनं पुरं हि तत्
मया हीनं पुरं हि तत् मया हीनं पुरं हि तत्
मद्भृत्यैः
मद्भृत्रैः मद्भृत्रैः
असद्वृत्तैः तैः
असैरुद्रैस्तैरुद्रस्तैर्धतैः ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿ ಗುರು
तैः असद्वृत्तैः
तै असदृस्तैः स्त्रै असदृस्त्रैः
धर्मतः पाल्यते न वा
धर्मतः पाल्यते न वा धर्मतः पाल्यते न वा
न जाने स प्रधानो मे शूरो
न जाने स प्रधानो मे शूरो न जाने स प्रधानो मे शूरो
अस्ति सदा मदः
अस्ति सदा मदः अस्ति सदा मदः
मम वैरिवशं जातः
मम वैरिवशं यातः मम वैरिवशं यातः
तान् भोगानुपलप्स्यते
कान् भोगानुपलप्स्यते कान् भोगानुपलप्स्यते
ये ममानुगता नित्यम्
ये ममानुगता नित्यं ये ममानुगता नित्यं
प्रसाद धनभोजनैः
प्रसाद धनभोजनैः प्रसाद धनभोजनैः
अनुवृत्तिं ध्रुवं तेद्य
अनिवृत्त्यं ध्रुवं तेद्य अनिवृत्त्यं ध्रुवं तेद्य
कुर्वन्ति अन्यमहीभृताम्
कुर्वन्ति अन्यमहीभृतां कुर्वन्त्ययमहीभृताम्
असम्यक् व्ययशीलैः तैः
असंहृद्यैः शीलैस्तैः असं ऋयशीलैस्तैः
कुर्वद्भिः सततं व्ययम्
कुर्वद्भिः सततं व्ययम् कुर्वद्भिः सततं व्ययम्
सञ्चितः सोऽति दुःखेन
सञ्चितः सो अति दुःखेन सञ्चितः सो अति दुःखेन
क्षयं कोशो गमिष्यति
क्षयं कोशो गमिष्यति क्षयं कोशो गमिष्यति
So this king remained in the ashrama for some time. He all the time he was honored by the Muni in the hermitage, and then he was now and then moving here and there and in the ashrama of the Muni. But as he was moving all places, a thought struck him very much. And he was very much worried also deeply. ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಚಿಂತೆ ಬಂತು. ಅಯ್ಯಯ್ಯೋ, ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಮೈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ರಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೀ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮೈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್? ದಟ್ ಮೈ predecessors, Maharajas, my father, grandfather, and all those kings in the town, they were there, they properly administered our land and looked after people. But now that city is without me. Maya hinam tat puram hi. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಶತ್ರುಗಳು ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೆಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಸೇವಕರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮದ್ಭೃತ್ಯೈಹಿ, ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಫಾಲೋಯರ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, ಮೈ ಓನ್ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, whether they are performing or looking after the administration and all that, as per dharma. Dharmataha palyate nava. Whether they are adopting to dharma in the absence of me, a king, a dharmapara king, or then I don't know. And moreover, the chief commander of the army and others, the Shura by name, and also I had a very powerful elephant, Hasti, which is having lot of rat and all that. Whether these two people going into the control of my enemies, see, najane min mama vairivasam jataha kan bhoganupalapsyate. So even the Sura, the commander-in-chief of the army, and also others, they all were taken away under the control of the enemies. How they are looking after my elephants, how they are looking after my Sainyam and my commander-in-chief, my ministers, I don't know, because the enemies have taken hold of them. That's one worry that is lurking in his head. And again, another worry was in him was that in 15th sloka, those people who are regularly sincere and following me, obedient to me, whether they are getting properly salaries and bhojanam and all that comfort which I was providing to them. What about their eating? What about their comforts? What about their health? All this. So bhojanaihi. And also anuvrittim dhruvam tejya kurvanti anyamahi bhrutam. So now definitely they have to adopt servitude to my enemy, who another person who has taken hold of my land, my kingdom. Ayyo. And moreover, in 16th sloka, another worry, see, Arti anodu ಈ ತರಹ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. What is Arti? Arti does not always be physical, but it is more and more mental. ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಆಗಿರುವ ಆರ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಯಾರು ತೆಗೆದಾಕ್ತಾರೆ? ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು ನಮ್ದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬಿದ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಈವನ್ ವೇರ್ ಎವರ್ you are with mind. That's why Krishna said in Gita, Mayarpita Mano Buddhihi. And also the thesis is ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಷೇತ್ರೇ ಕುರುಕ್ಷೇತ್ರೇ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೂ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರೇ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರೇ ಧರ್ಮಂ ಕುರು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ನಿನ್ನ ಧರ್ಮ ಪರಿಪಾಲನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ವೆದರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್, you are there, your institution is there, the culture and education which you are imparted is there, and that only you try to impart. See that your presence will be a matter of inspiration and guidance to all people. That's what my Professor Dr. Dandekar was telling. Wherever you go, the institution is moving with you, that has imparted knowledge and training and discipline. So that if you remember and honor the institutional discipline, you will definitely be on the road and inspiring many more people, because the people will not have the exposure, as much exposure you have had for better things and better education and better contacts and better associateship and all that. Therefore, you are good. That's why anuvrittim dhruvam tejya kurvanti anyamahi bhrutam. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಲೆಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲೈನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್, they may not be able to adopt all the discipline because there is opposition. If the opposition is strong for any positive decisions, it is hard to execute, and people also suffer out of doing that. Therefore, the ruler, and also there must be some kind of opposition is only to improve the formulations, but not to destroy and devastate it. ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ. ಆದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಈ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ರಾಜರು, ಯಾರು ರಾಜರು ಶತ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೋ, ಇನ್ನು ಇವರು ಪಾಲಿಸೀಸು, ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸು, ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸು ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಶತ್ರು ರಾಜಗಳ ಪ್ರಕಾರವೇ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆಯೇ, ಅಯ್ಯಯ್ಯೋ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅನದರ್. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ನೌ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ not only his town, not only his predecessors who ruled and maintained the town, and he also the kind of the army chief, the animal hasti means the elephant, means all Ashwasainyam, Gajasainyam, and whatever that four kinds of sainyam, and whether how they are being looked after, and whether they are getting the bhogas or enjoyments or relaxation or vacation or holidays, and about how about their prasad, how about their gracious compassion being shown upon them or not, or whether they are being paid the salary, and also the bhojanam, the food also, how they are enjoying. And you look at that. So worry has not got any boundary. ಈ worry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ there is no wall for worry. ಆ ಆಲೋಚನೆ worry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ that will go a long way. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ at one point you should stop worry and start working ಅಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು worry ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Supposing some close relative dies, along with all people who are crying there, if you are also there as a monitor, no, you should go to a bank, draw money, make arrangements, see that the disposal of the dead is properly done. ಅದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನೋ ಯೂಸ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನೌ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡನ್ ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನುವೃತ್ತಿ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ವರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೈನ್ asamyak gyayasilaihi taihi. So moreover, my Chatru Rajas who are known for expenditure useless, or they are spendthrifts. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾರು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೋರೋವರ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸಂಬಡಿ ದಾನ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದೇ ದಾನ ದುಡ್ಡು ರೀ, ನಿಮ್ಗೇನು ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂತ ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ದುರ್ಮಾರ್ಗರು ತುಂಬ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಕೆಲವರೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಓನು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಾನದ ದುಡ್ಡು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋರು ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಅಂತ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋರು ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸತತಂ ವ್ಯಯಂ ಕುರ್ವದ್ಭಿ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಖರ್ಚು ಖರ್ಚು ಖರ್ಚು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್. ವ್ಯಯ ಅಂದರೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್, ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅವೇ ದಿ ಮನಿ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಧನಾಗಾರಂ, ದೋ ರಿಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್, ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಟೇಕ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಮನಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಧನಾಗಾರ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ದೆನ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸಂಚಿತ ಅತಿ ದುಃಖೇನ ಕ್ಷಯಂ ಕೋಶೋ ಗಮಿಷ್ಯತಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಕೋಶ is filled with that, with hard contributions and earning, that is going to be reduced to zero. If koshanasa happens, then the king is completely out of waters. I mean, he will be just nobody like wish. That's why Chanakya, in his Arthashastra, he has written so much about the statecraft, king, and the treasury, and so on. There are so many chapters in the Arthashastra. And once there was 1 week seminar done on Kautilya's Arthashastra in Oriental Institute, Mysore, long back. I happened to submit my paper on the Kosha Sthiti in the according to Kautilya, and then I went through the Kosha Agara or Kosha and all that. It's a big subject. That's financial matters, because ಧನಂ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅದಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಆಗೋದು. ಸರ್ವೇ ಗುಣಾ ಕಾಂಚನ ಮಾಶ್ರಯಂತಿ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಯಾರು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಂಕಲ್ಪಗಳು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ದರಿದ್ರವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಉತ್ಪದ್ಯಂತೆ ನಿಲೀಯಂತೆ ದರಿದ್ರಾಣ ಮನೋರಥ ಅಂತ. ದರಿದ್ರರ ಮನೋರಥಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅವರು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ದುಡ್ಡಿರೋಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಸಂಪನ್ನರ ಹತ್ರ, ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ರಿಚ್, ಶೈವಲ್ಯ has put a wonderful one subhashitam in our WhatsApp. Rich people will not like to spend their money. But poor people, they have highly good ideas on Subhashitam, but they have no way out to spend. ಆ ತರಹ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ದುರ್ವ್ಯಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶತ್ರುರಾಜರು. ಕೋಶಃ ಕ್ಷಯಂ ಸಂಚಿತಃ ಕೋಶಃ ದುಃಖ ದುಃಖೇನ ಅತಿ ದುಃಖೇನ ಕ್ಷಯಂ ಗಮಿಷ್ಯತಿ. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ಕೋಶ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ. ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಯಾಗಿರುವ ಕೋಶ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬ ದುಃಖ ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕೋಶನಾಥ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕೋಶ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ everything is as having some kind of life and importance. Nama Gurugalu B.S. Krishnan was telling, if an officer has got so many files to be disposed, to be signed and all that, so every officer must feel that behind or in the file there is a human being there, his conditions, his requirements, his grievances, and all that is there appearing on the table of the officer. If he does not care them, just he looks to himself, he is a criminal. So that was what he was, a commissioner of something, a central government employee. He was telling us, because he is a Saundarya Lahari Satsanga Karta and he has done a lot of good for people in Nagpur, B.S. Krishnan. So I remember his statement that consider everything as having a pranam, and then you will try to understand and appreciate all that. That's why koshaha sanchitaha koshaha atidukkhena kshayam gamishyati. Even the treasury also becoming poorer and positive happening to that, then the kosha itself will be unhappy, because the king's prosperity depends upon the intensity of the ಕೋಶ. ಆ ಕೋಶವನ್ನು ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ಕೋಶನಾಶೋ ಭವಿಷ್ಯತಿ. ಸೊ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಆಸ್ ಎ ಕಿಂಗ್, ರಾಜಧರ್ಮ and the rajarika and all that is really very hard. To be first person, to be leader, has to be ready to face the objections and difficulties on his way to come to accomplish one good success. And therefore, now please repeat, etaccha anyaccha sadatam chintayamasa parthivaha.
एतच्चान्यच्च सततं चिन्तयामास पार्थिवः. एतच्चान्यच्च सततं चिन्तयामास पार्थिवः.
तत्र विप्राश्रमाभ्यासे
तत्र विप्राश्रमाभ्यासे विप्राश्रमाभ्यासे
वैश्यमेकं ददर्श सः.
वैश्यमेकं ददर्श सः. वैश्यमेकं ददर्श सः.
So when you are worried, if you get somebody to share your worry or to get some solution, it is really a great thing. That's why it is said, sorrows are halved and joys are redoubled when you share it with real friends. Real friends. ಅಂತಃ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು ಆ ರಾಜನಿಗೆ ಆ ತರಹ ಚಿಂತಾಪರನಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ದುಃಖದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಏತತ್ತು ಅನ್ಯತ್ತು ಚ ಸತತಂ ಚಿಂತಯಾಮಾಸ. Chinta and chiti, these are the two things which will bother, which are important for any man or any jiva. ಈ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಅನುಸ್ವಾರ ಒಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಚಿತಿಗೆ ಅನುಸ್ವಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಚಿಂತದಲ್ಲಿ 0 ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಸ್ವಾರ 0. ಸೊ ಈ ಅನುಸ್ವಾರ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ಚಿತಿ ದಹತಿ ವೈ ದೇಹಂ ಸರ್ವಂ, ಚಿಂತಾ ದಹತಿ ಮನಃ ಶರೀರಂ. ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಸೊ ಚಿಂತ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಂದರೆ ಸ್ಲೋ ಟಾರ್ಚರ್. It cannot give you any kind of relief. And chiti, so between chinta and chiti, which is better? Chiti is better than chinta ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ತರಹ ಚಿಂತೆಯಿಂದ, ಈ ಚಿಂತೆ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಚಿತ್ತಂ. ನಮ್ಮ ಶುದ್ಧ ಚಿತ್ತನಾಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆವಾಗ ಶುದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವ ಆನಂದ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಚಿತ್ತವನ್ನು ಕಂಟ್ಯಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಂಟ್ಯಾಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಅಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಹೋಪ್ಲೆಸ್. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಇವನು ಪಾಪ ಮಹಾರಾಜ ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಫಿಯರ್ಫುಲ್, ಡಿಸಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಂಗ್, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್, ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಪಾಪ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಿಯರ್ ದಟ್ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸೇ ವಿಪ್ರಾಶ್ರಮಸ್ಯ, ಆ ವಿಭ್ರಾಶ್ರಮದ ಸಮೀಪದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಭ್ಯಾಸೇ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕ್ರಿಟ್, ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಈಸ್ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸೆ. ಸಕಾರ ಶನಿವಾರ ಸ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿವಲಿಂಗಯ್ಯ ನಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ, ಸಮೀಪದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದೇ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಸಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್, ರಿಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಕಲಿಯುವಾಗ, ಶಬ್ದೋಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಲದಂ. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನದಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದೇ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಚಿತಿ ಚಿಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ, ಆಶಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಶಾ. So these are all the like that. So the sakara and shakara positions we have got to watch and then make meaning accordingly. So abhyase, ashrama abhyase, so close by to the hermitage, he found a person, a Vaisya, a merchant, Vaisya community. So Kshatriya is Maharaja and Vaisya is the merchant, a rich merchant, but he was also driven away by all his relations, snatching away all his property, earnings and everything, because he turned old. When people turn old, the youngsters, you know the conditions, they don't want the older people in the house. They want to disperse, send him to away from the house and in ashramas. ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಶ್ರಮಗಳಿದ್ದು ಇವಾಗ ವೃದ್ಧಾಶ್ರಮಗಳಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ವೃದ್ಧರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ವೃದ್ಧಾಶ್ರಮ ಕೂಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಪರ್ ಮಂತ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಅಬೌಟ್ 50,000 to 60,000 rupees ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವೈಶ್ಯನು ಒಬ್ಬನು ತುಂಬ ರಿಚ್ ಮರ್ಚೆಂಟ್, ಅವನು he came to the ashrama and the king happened to meet. Now next we'll see the dialogue between them, because ಸಮಾನ ದುಃಖ ಯಾರಿಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅವರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಗುಡ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಶೋಕ ಸಮಾನ, ಶೋಕವು ದುಃಖ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಮಾನವಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ, ವೈ ರಾಮ ಅಂಡ್ ಸುಗ್ರೀವ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಥಿಕ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ದುಃಖ, ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, losing the wife and other circumstances. So that's why Rama Sugrivayo Sakhyam became an idealistic one and classical one. So ಹಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ವೈಶ್ಯ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಅವನು who lost everything, who lost affection of his own people, but he was rich, he had a lot of wives and children and grandchildren and all that. He comes. So both of them, Samana Dukkha, they meet and the story continues. I think I can stop here. Om Tat Satu Sarvam Sri.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu, Shri Vasudevarpanamastu, Shri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu. Om Shri Matru Charana Ravindarpanamasta. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Namaste. Guru. Namaste.
Sri Durga
Thank you, Guruji.
Parameshwari Prasada Siddhirastu. Just.
Thank you, Guruji.
Oh, Manjidare. Very nice. Any questions you got? Nothing. So though it is a story, quite fascinating, but there is lot of background thinking for this, because there are so many topics touched in Durga Saptasati connected to mundane, super mundane life, added with the Daivanugraham or So a Muni is the intelligent sannyasi, or who has got Vairagya, Gnana and Tyaga. That kind of Muni is there, who is trying to guide a Kshatriya, a Vaisya, and that Muni is a Dvijavaraha. That's what is being told. So a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaisya combination, to be able to get rid of the troubles, turmoils, difficulties, problems, and etc., which are basically chinta, but that chinta should be removed. And for that, Daivi Prasada is important. And therefore, this Durga Saptasati, as a story, very interesting for children. But for adults, this has got very, very, very deep significance and lessons to be learned from that. Because Koshanashaha means where the king is worried about the elephants, all animals. Elephant is the Upalakshana. And he is worried about the Shura, the commander-in-chief, the army of him. Because the Shatru kings will be able to influence. If the king was giving 5 rupees, the Shatrus will say, what they lose? They say, I give more. So some people are there who are lean with the Raja Bhakti, attend to the Shatru. That's exactly what happened to our India. India lost independence to others, and others became rulers other than Hindu kings. Although Hindu kings are very powerful, but because the Hindus themselves have brought ruin and loss of independence or swatantra. That's what here you see the word for this king, that beautiful word you should remember. What happened to this gentleman means Swamyam, Hrutaswamyaha. That's exactly happened. When you lose your own personal independence and judgment and all that, you are just dependent, then it's a problem. Though you are having very good riches and all that, but some people are overpowering you and you lose your independence, your money has gone and your house property gone, you are thrown into the road. So this is quite normal to many people in the world. Maybe children sometime, but even the children also may not care you because they are busy, they say like that. ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ಸ್ವಾಮ್ಯಂ అయిన తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలంటే అది వానప్రస్థము అంటే చెప్తారు. Trying to retire to a place far from the madding crowd. So when once people go there, or going there is no good movement, but along with going there, we should keep our mind also free from attachments. Here you look at the king, he has so much attachment still to his nation, to his land, to his city, to his people, to his children and all that. So I think, so like that, you should think that in this direction, that the Durga Saptasati is not just a story, Punya Bharate, and we are going to heaven, all that is separate, but what kind of lesson we are able to draw out from the characters, from the content, and from the description of Durga Saptasati is important. Thank you very much. Any questions? Chanagidella?
Thank you, Gurudev.
Okay, ma. We'll meet again and so where is that?
Yeah.